Okay, this is my quick spoiler review of Dear Esther for the PS4. This is it playing behind me. First off, it's not a game. It's not even an interactive story. All you do is walk along this path, look at some caves, and you hear a voiceover of of you, the main character, basically writing letters to his dear Esther. Uh, I'm guessing his wife. That would be make the most sense. Which is one of the problems which I'll get to that in a second. What I was expecting was a puzzle game, kind of like Myst or Limbo or Little Nightmares. Really, from the screenshots, it looked a lot like Myst. And honestly, just it was really boring. I was sitting here on a Saturday afternoon, walking through this, falling asleep on my couch. I actually had to fight to stay awake as I was walking through this. There's nothing interactive about it, and the controls are kind of goofy because when I first got in, I was trying to figure out what everything did, and so I was like R2, that zooms in. Okay, R1 zooms in. L1 zooms in. L2 zooms in. Triangle zooms in. Circle zooms in. X zooms in. Square zooms in. The only button that did anything other than zoomed in was the thumbstick and the D-pad, and that basically moved you. So the only thing you could really do is move and look at stuff closer. So I ended up in the storytelling. The story wasn't engaging because it was literally just this guy reminiscing, and it's not even that clear. Like, it seems like there was some kind of accident, drunk driving accident or something, and you're not sure if it was your character that was drinking and driving that cost Esther her life, or Esther was drinking and driving, or just was involved and you've lost your life and she lived. I think you died, which makes sense because this is kind of a lost kind of environment, except for less weird stuff. And so you're writing these letters, and like at one point you end up talking about some other guy that got washed up on the island with you that it swears up and down that he wasn't drunk. So I'm guessing it was some other guy but what I was saying was you're writing to her, and you're talking about don't come here, or like you're hoping no one else comes here. So that's why I think it's like you that died, and because you're writing to Esther saying don't be in a hurry to come here. Take your time, whatever. But the other guy you end up referencing later on, it even says like, oh, you found out, oh, he wasn't drunk either. It was just some kind of lines merged or something. Like I said, it wasn't great storytelling. I was having trouble following it. I was really bored, falling asleep. Wasn't great. There's a lot of Paul references from the Bible. There's writing on the walls. I kept looking for some kind of puzzle aspect. At the very beginning, I was like looking at everything, trying to memorize everything. I was like, what does that mean? That's some kind of a physics symbol, or not physics, a chemistry symbol, or something like that, thinking it was going to come back later, and it did not. The only kind of funny thing, okay, let me just say one positive thing. It does have some pretty environments, especially in the caves. I really like the chapter where you were in a cave. It was really beautiful in there. But the one kind of funny thing about this that I thought was kind of interesting and should have been a cue as to it not being a great game was early on. You're walking along the beach, and I'm like curious if you can go out in the water. So I go out there and end up drowning, and I get an achievement or trophy as I'm a recent PlayStation convert, so I'm used to Xbox, and so you get a trophy for dying once by drowning, and then later on I got a trophy for dying once by walking off a cliff. And so I don't know if it's trying to encourage you to actually commit suicide or what, which sounds dark, but like whatever. But the very ending, and like I said, this is a spoiler. The very ending is you finally get to this like radio tower, and it takes over into a cinematic, and you start climbing up to the top of this radio tower, and he's still talking, and your character like looks out over this cliff edge from the top of this radio tower, and is like, is he? Have I been walking this entire way just to kill myself? I mean, that would just be stupid, especially considering I'd already killed myself twice in this game by drowning in the water, and then walking off the edge, walking off the edge of a cliff. Uh, and he jumps, which was kind of fun cinematic. It was like slow motion, and you're falling in first person view. But right before you get dashed on the rocks below, you start flying, and apparently you're a bird now, because you see a little bit of a shadow of a bird as you're flying over the island for a minute or two as it's finishing its little dialogue. And then it rolls credits, and that's, I can't even call it a game. I probably wouldn't have had such a visceral reaction to this if I had known it wasn't in any way a game. But yeah, if you're looking for something to put you to sleep at night, help you sleep at night, by all means, play this, or even just watch my stream of it. You'll get about the same experience, and you won't have to worry about dropping the controller, and that waking you up. But that's about it. Thanks.